Look who's back on screen with Sarkaru Vaari Paata. After a gap of more than 2 years, this commercial drama's trailer had given us the impression that it would impress audiences from all the corners. After multiple postponements, Mahesh Babu is back, and here we are discussing his film Sarkaru Vaari Paata. Mahi, who's played by Mahesh Babu, is a moneylender and goes to any extent to get it back. Kalavati, who's played by Keerthy Suresh, a girl with many vices, takes a substantial sum from him and then runs away to India. How did Mahesh recover that loan from Kalavati? What is her connection with his past? How the story ends up meeting Rajendranath, who becomes a very critical factor in this film, is what forms the movie's plot and story further. But here I am, Samaksh Malhotra, talking in my opinion whether you should or you should not watch Sarkaru Vaari Paata in theatres. Let's discuss with the positives first, but before beginning, do remember to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon for daily updates. The positive aspects of the film. Number one being the subject that it discusses has a sense of urgency and reliability. It talks about the growing menace of rich people defaulting on bank loans, the government corporate nexus that enables such financial frauds and crimes, and how the eventual burden is inflicted on the banking system by bad loans. It's eventually shifted to hard-working, law-abiding citizens of the nation. Nearly all the principal characters fall on the either side of the divide. Those who toil to repay their small loans and are pushed to the brink, and those who do not repay those thousands of crores to the bank. Through the narrative, Mahi asks why ordinary people should be harassed to repay loans of 10 to 15,000 when a business tycoon can get away without repaying even tens of thousands worth of crores of loans. So the social issue that the movie talks about is of a certain value, and while talking about the loan defaults, I'm sure we all can think of multiple names already, and how on the other side we also can think of the farmers who've committed suicide just for a few thousand bucks. 11 on 10 for the social issue raised in this movie, and when I say that we need more films like these is because cinema truly is the reflection of the society, and the subjects touched by the films are representing a larger mirror on all what is going on in real life. So we need more films on social causes which are mass entertainers, so someone can get inspired and then step up to start working towards one of those causes and its elimination. Number second positive aspect being that it's a mass entertainment, especially in the first half. Parasuram is a good narrator. He's really good at narrating films with the dose of entertainment. His mark is visible in the initial portions pretty well. The Miami sequence of the film is the most entertaining part of the movie, which comes in the beginning. Mahesh Babu's star power and his comic timings are the main strength of this film, and Keerthy Suresh does her job pretty decently well, and this pairing with Mahesh Babu and Keerthy Suresh I think is one of the best sorted pairs of South Indian industry. The scenes between Mahesh Babu and Keerthy are hilarious in the beginning if we talk about it, but it proves to be a letdown in the second half, which we'll talk about later. The beginning of the film and the interval and the climax are also linked very smartly. Not only this, coming to the next positive aspect is Thaman's music and Madhi's cinematography. Credit also goes to choreographer Shankar and cinematographer R. Madhi for handling the entire portion pretty well. When it comes to Thaman's music, Kalavati and Mama Mahesha stand out in his compositions, and Madhi's camera work brings out luminous texture to the film. But this is where we also discuss the flip side of the coin and turning the page to discuss the underwhelming aspects of the film, number one being the score by Thaman. While the background score and songs were good in the first half, Thaman's score fell in the crucial part of the final sequences with not so impressive music or dialogue. Music composer S. Thaman, who generally gives terrific background scores for such films like Achanta and Bhimla Nayak, is reported to have missed the spark in Sarkaru Vaari Paata. Thaman's background score isn't as great as he promised in his interviews or tweets, where he claimed that it is better than his earlier films. Except for a couple of songs such as Kalavati and Mama Mahesha, as I said before, the other songs didn't do quite well despite the film being a commercial mass entertainer, which is said to be a huge letdown. Number second is the storyline. Only when we move beyond the entertainment portion of the first half that we get to the actual story. It happens happens towards the interval mark and raises hopes in the second half. Unfortunately, the real problem with this film is that it surfaces in the second half. The issue is the lack of conviction, the lack of clarity from Parasuram regarding the core content. There is one eye on entertainment, there's another one on delivering a message. Simultaneously, there's one hand which Parasuram has kept that he wants some action, and his other hand is that he wants to bring out the comic element as well, and also wants to bring out the vintage Mahesh Babu for his fans. The mixture of all these leads to a narrative that actually ends up going nowhere in the second half. So that was a bit disappointing. Number third being the unexplained narratives. Had Mahi not been enacted by an actor who already has a superstar image, one viewer would definitely ask questions on how he established a finance company in the US and what all his credentials are. But how did he reach that position that he is in today? The film never really cares to explain, and the audience just kept on wondering. I mean, not all the audience, I'm pretty sure all the core Mahesh Babu fans did not think about this because they all were busy enjoying the film in the theatre. Number fourth negative aspect about this film is that it lacks a strong antagonist. With his villainous acts in Crack and AVPL, the villain of this, the antagonist of this film, doesn't create much impact due to a weaker character, which is definitely a problem with the writing, where Mahi repeatedly harps on the impact of loans on different sections of the society, through which is very well intended. It also gets boring. Mahi either lectures or slaps people, from Brahmaji to Keerthy, to make them see things differently. Well, smarter writing would have definitely helped prepare a better antagonist, which would have eventually made Mahi a better hero for the film. The fifth underwhelming aspect is that the movie gets too preachy. While the first half rolls by the scenes and song sequences that capitalize on Mahesh's boisterous looks and the charming female lead, the routine story gets preachy in the second half and feels very lengthy. And I think it's about time when Mahesh looks beyond the stories that have him returning from abroad to India to have a mission, invariably delivering a social message, along with turning to saving people, the state, or the country. This thought is hammered through a narrative that is, of course, entertaining in the first half, but eventually gets preachy and overdrawn. If we overall talk about this film, it is narrated through a conservative template of a masala movie with customary fight scenes, song sequences, and punchlines that add little to no value to our experience. Not to forget the sexist undertone dialogues and comic jokes in this film. But of course, if you are a hardcore fan of Mahesh Babu and you want to listen to him shouting "I'm a whale," then I think it's enough to meet your expectations of entertainment, and you will be in the theatre for a real treat. But if you are looking for some mass entertainer commercial film which will entertain you throughout, I'm not so sure. But if you like watching some social elements in the movies and you would want, such cinema to even work out in the future, then you should definitely book your tickets right now, because the subject that it touches is something that was really not touched before, and we would really hope that Mahesh Babu and Parasuram learn from the negatives of this film and create an even better social commercial mass movie in the future, which has the comic elements, action sequences, and everything that they want to put in, but with a well-written story and narrative. So that was the video, guys. Do let me know in the comment section, how did you find the movie and how did you find the video? And also remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel while pressing the bell icon, so whatever I upload next, you get the notification first. And also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SamakshVivo. The handles are right in front of you. Thank you so much. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.